One out, last of the ninth. Brooklyn leads at 4-2. Blanca throws. There's a left side. And Kennedy has the lead. The Giants won the pennant. 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 Bobby Thompson hits into the very back of the left field stand. The Giants won the pennant. And they're going crazy. They're going crazy.
And here we are, 39 years later, and the Giants are trying to do it again as CBS presents Major League Baseball. On May 29th, the Giants trailed Cincinnati by 14 and a half, and the lead dwindles down to the point where this morning the standings were at 4.5. In the National League West, we find the Dodgers playing the Giants this afternoon, and the Giants trailing by 4.5, and the Dodgers refusing to go away. They trail Cincinnati by only 8. I'm Jack Buck with Tim McCarver, and folks, how many times have you heard in the past baseball people say all the team in front has to do is play 500 baseball, Tim, and it's all over?
Well, that's a trap into which the players can't allow themselves to fall. But just think about how far the Giants have come. Just 10 days ago, they were 11 games back. As a matter of fact, only one team in the history of the major leagues has been further behind than the Giants this year and have won the pennant. That's the 1914 Boston Braves. And the interesting thing is the Giants have done it in assorted ways. They've used 22 pitchers. And speaking of pitchers, a pitcher won the game as a pinch hitter the other day, Don Robinson.
They're a hot ball club, and we'll watch them try to write another chapter in the comeback today.
CBS Sports presents Major League Baseball. Today's game is brought to you by Today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America. BF Goodrich TA Tires, the athletic shoes for your car. And by new Bud Dry, cold filtered for smooth draft taste and dry brewed for no aftertaste.
There's a big crowd here today and a cloudless sky, and it's breezy as usual, nice and sunny. And the pitcher is Trevor Wilson, and here is the defense behind this 6-3 left-hander.
Trevor Wilson 4-0 at Candlestick Park this year. Kevin Mitchell missed 4 games last year. He did, however, start on Thursday. He's got a sore right wrist. Brett Butler in center field, assorted injuries also. I guess you could say that about all the Giants. Rick Leach, the former University of Michigan star in right field. He picked the right sport. Matt Williams has been having some problems defensively at third base, but not so Jose Uribe at shortstop. His partner over at second base, Robbie Thompson, what a double play combination they are. And Will Clark back in there this afternoon. He had a pulled groin. He missed 3 ball games. Catching his 1,876th ball game, Gary Carter behind the plate. That's a high for National League catchers, and Trevor Wilson on the mound.
Here's the lineup for the Dodgers. Stan Javier plays center field. Mike Sharperson at third base. Cal Daniels. And it's Eddie Murray, Hubie Brooks, Rick Dempsey, Lenny Harris, Alfredo Griffin at shortstop, and Mike Morgan is on the mound. We asked Trevor Wilson about some of his pitches, how he held his curveball and his changeup.
Okay, I just keep my top finger on it, and I'm able to throw it a little bit harder than I used to be. As long as I stick with it and follow through with it, it's a nice hard breaking ball, and I'm pretty consistent with it.
How about your circle change? How do you hold that?
Circle change, I just hold it just like that. It's just like an okay sign, and it usually just rolls off these 3 fingers, and throw it as hard as you can.
And when you keep it down, then it is okay.
Keep it down, and it's the pitch you want. You keep it up, and then you'll see it over in the left field bleachers.
You'll notice that curveball that Trevor was talking about, he holds with the seams and uses that seam for leverage.
The batter is Stanley Javier leading it off. Kirk Gibson is out of the Dodger lineup here at the outset, and look what Javier is doing for the Dodgers with a 3:22 mark. There's a strike called, and we're 1-1. It's going to be Javier, Sharperson, and Cal Daniels in the first against Wilson. Javier is happy to be with the Dodgers, even though he left a championship club. And the pitch goes down and in. It's ball 2. The home plate umpire today is Tom Hallion. Dana DeMuth, who worked the All-Star games at first. Eric Gregg back to work. is at second base, and Doug Harvey, the crew chief, is umpiring at third. Tom Hallion calling the balls and strikes. 2-1 the count. 3-1 it goes. Eric Gregg had to take a little sabbatical to take off some of that weight.
Went to Duke University on the advice of National League President Bill White.
Yeah, the batter thought it was a strike. He started at first. He stopped thinking it was a strike, and it was called ball 4. And Javier goes to first base, so Wilson starts the game with a base on balls. That was strange actions by the batter up there.
Yeah, it looked like Javier thought the ball was a strike. That was called exactly right. But he said, well, if you're going to give it to me, why not take it?
There he is at first with Will Clark holding against him. And Ben Hines coaching down there. The batter is Mike Sharperson. Very little power, but a .312 batting mark for Sharperson, the third baseman. Wilson has a pretty good pickoff move. Frequently he'll step off the rubber and throw, and he has picked some runners off this year.
He's picked 5 off. Only 2 of 9 that have attempted to steal have made it.
So we'll watch his quick pitching motion as he works to Sharperson. And a ground ball. They'll only get 1, but they do get the lead man. And the field is short. Well, Sharperson didn't get down there very well.
I'll tell you why, because that ball was inside. Whenever a hitter's jammed, he'll rarely get out of the box real well. Sharperson jammed with that cut fastball of Wilson. A nice play by Robbie Thompson, and remarkably, Uribe almost turns the double play because Sharperson didn't get out of the box properly.
Some second baseman would have given up on the lead runner and taken the easy out in front of them, but Thompson didn't do that. He keeps the double play in order with Sharperson at first with 1 out, and Cal Daniels is up. Daniels batting .295, and he's hit a surprising number of home runs, 15. But he says he's not a home run hitter, has opposite field power. There's a strike. Daniels, a former Cincinnati player. He's had some aches and pains and a bad knee. Opposite field power, they play him straight away. Fly ball for Butler to track down. 2 out. That Butler can really handle center field here in this windy ballpark, and he's not hung up psychologically about playing in this park.
We talked about Mike Sharperson and his inability to get out of the box quickly. Watch him kind of spin his wheels. When right-handed hitters are jammed, often you will see them doubled up at first base because of the inability to get out of the box. And Sharperson not really running hard. He looked at second, wasn't running hard, and almost cost him.
Yeah, you hung there for a moment.
Yeah, right.
Hung in the stretch.
That's conveyor belt running.
Now the runners at first and 2 out, and Eddie Murray is up. Murray has hit 16 home runs, and he's having a good year, but the people aren't thrilled with him down there in Dodgerland. To our minds, they should be. Here is ball 1 high. This fellow is compiling over the years, Tim, some very good figures.
369 lifetime home runs, the same as Hall of Famer Ralph Kiner. As you look at Joe Amalfitano flashing the signs at third base.
Runner at first with 2 out. And a throw over there. Ben Hines is the first base coach. Manny Mota is up in the press box after holding fourth at first base for many years. Sharperson at first with 2 out. First inning, no score, and Murray hits a line drive, and Wilson says, thank you, I'll take that. A walk and 1 left, 1/2 inning, no score. The Dodgers left a man on, didn't score in the first. Mike Morgan is on the hill for the Dodgers, a record of 9-9. He is 1-1 lifetime against San Francisco. And the Giant batting order is Brett Butler, one of the best leadoff men in the game to start it off. Rick Leach, Will Clark at first base, Kevin Mitchell in left field batting fourth. Then Matt Williams at third, Gary Carter catching, played first base last night, Robbie Thompson at second, Jose Uribe at short, and Trevor Wilson the pitcher.
The Dodgers have had problems with their defensive outfield with Kirk Gibson ailing. His legs look for Stan Javier in center, who is flanked by Cal Daniels in left, and Hubie Brooks in right. Look for Javier to roam from line to line. Mike Sharperson at third base, Alfredo Griffin at shortstop, Lenny Harris at second, Eddie Murray, formerly a Gold Glover in the American League, at first base, Rick Dempsey, a teammate of Murray's, behind the plate, his 19th start of the year, and Mike Morgan on the mound.
And one of the best bunters in baseball will lead it off. That's Brett Butler, who's hitting .291. Has 2 home runs. Good base stealer when he gets on. He has stolen 31. And the third baseman, Sharperson, is saying, go ahead and bunt it, and Butler will, no matter where they're playing. First pitch is high for ball 1 from Mike Morgan. Morgan is with his 6th Major League club. And even though the third baseman was playing tight, Butler tried to get one down. The leader and the optimistic leader of these Giants is Roger Craig.
Speaking of optimism.
Yeah.
Tommy Lasorda, the manager of the Dodgers. Both weaned in the Dodger organization, both Craig and Lasorda.
1-1 to Butler and a fly ball, and the left fielder doesn't get there. The wind changed it, and the ball fell in front of Daniels. It carried it away from the shortstop, Griffin, and then took it away from the outfielder.
Years and years of playing here at Candlestick Park, the 30th year of its existence, the second oldest club in the ballpark in the National League. It is a very, very difficult sun field and wind field. And this ball drops in front of Daniels.
The wind really changes the flight of the ball, and the wind is blowing strongly toward right. Might be difficult for the right-handed batters to hit the ball out, so Butler starts it with a hit. He's stolen 31 bases. He might test Rick Dempsey. If you look at Butler, he is really hurting. He was hit on the toe with a pitch from Jack Armstrong of Cincinnati. He has a bad ankle. He has a bad hip. He said, I'd like to get out of the lineup, but I can't.
Rest in November.
Yeah, November.
That's what Novembers are for.
Leadoff man is on. Hitting room through the right side for Leach if he can pull the ball. The pitch is a strike on the corner.
You hear baseball players talk about a closed stance and keeping that front shoulder in there. I don't think anybody tries to do it as much as Rick Leach. Rick Leach is almost has his back to the pitcher. That's how much he really accentuates that front shoulder in trying to keep it in there.
Butler draws another throw. He's there with nobody out. The Dodgers didn't score in the first. Leach, since joining the Giants, has been quite a leader on this club. He's optimistic also, and he's got a lot of vitality. Hitting very well here in their home park. Butler's lead is the same, and another throw. You can see that hitting room, and there's Roger Craig. He is busy in the dugout during the game. He is very involved with his pitcher primarily.
Also with his offense. A lot of hitting and running, squeeze plays. He and Lasorda both.
Leach puts it into center for Javier. 1 out, and the runner back to first.
Here's that closed stance we were talking about. Watch the front shoulder. That's one of the reasons that Leach is having such a fine year. That front shoulder bringing the hands through. He hit it well, but right at Javier.
And keeping that front shoulder in helps the batter keep his head on the ball, as you saw in that replay with Leach swinging the bat. Now here's Will Clark. He has a pulled groin muscle, but he wanted back in the lineup today. He's batting .291 with 14 home runs. They have to play him straight away. He sprays the ball around the park. Ball 1. Sometimes with a number 3 hitter up there, a club will not run with Butler at first because it'll take the bat out of the hands of this hitter. The Red Sox go ahead of the Tigers 3-1 in the 8th. And of course the Red Sox, you know, have lost Jeff Reardon. That's going to hurt him. There goes the runner. And no throws. Dempsey dropped the ball. And the reason the Giants don't mind running is that Mitchell follows Clark.
It was a good pitch on which to run. Butler takes off on the changeup that is low and in the dirt, and Dempsey can't find the handle. An uncontested steal, the 32nd of the year by Butler. The ball in the dirt, and Dempsey can't find the handle. Those are do-or-die type plays for the catcher. If you don't come up with it, you can forget it.
Let's see if Clark moves the runner, drives him home. He takes it low, and that's ball 3. He doesn't mind getting the walk. He's not a stubborn hitter because he has Mitchell hitting behind him, and he might be swinging on 3-0.
I would sure think so.
The wind blowing to right as it is. No score here in the first. Dodgers won last night 11-2. Giants trying to get even. And a foul on 3-0, 3-1. Talking to Clark last night, and he was wondering if he got back in too quickly into the lineup. He wanted to make sure he didn't do that, so he apparently is 100% fit, or he wouldn't have played today. Runner at second, one out. And a fly ball up into the wind, carrying to the track, to the fence. It's going to be caught by Brooks. Runner tags, and now Brooks thinks there are 3 out, and the runner's trying to score. The throw! He is saved! Great coaching at third base by Bill Fay.
A sacrifice fly by Will Clark and an RBI. Watch Hubie Brooks, who thinks it's 3 outs. This is the second out, and now Brooks is coming in. His teammates are yelling at him. He looks up, and Brett Butler is continuing to run. Watch Bill Fahey, the third base coach, waving Brett on. And the Giants get a cheap run. Oh, boy.
He jammed that foot away and did get the plate. Mitchell with 2 out, bases empty, strike 1. I wonder what they thought of that play over in Cincinnati.
Tell you, that reminds me of the 1982 World Series when Willie McGee scored from second base on a sacrifice fly. World Series, Cardinals and Milwaukee. But of course, in that instance, the center fielder who fielded the ball didn't forget that there were 2 outs, as Hubie Brooks did.
Here's one by Mitchell, high in the air to center for Javier. He'll get it. The inning is over. 1 run, 1 hit, nobody left. We played 1 inning, and it's 1-0 San Francisco.
Watch the infielders. Alfredo Griffin, Lenny Harris, and Mike Sharperson waving frantically at Hubie Brooks, who recovers but too late. A cheap run for the Giants.
And the crowd here cheers for Hubie Brooks, who picks it off in the second. Ball 1-0 Giants. Brooks embarrassed, of course. Clark says thanks for the RBI. And Butler wondered what in the world the coach was sending him home for. What happened out there? Here's a swing and a miss on a changeup, 1-1. That was that circle change that Trevor Wilson showed us before this game started. Brooks hits it foul. He's in the hole 1-2. Trevor Wilson gave up a walk, but no hits in the first inning. Missed the inside corner, 2-2.
That's that cut fastball. Wilson throws 2 types of fastballs. One that's away from the right-hander, a sinker. He gets a lot of ground balls on that, and then he cuts the ball inside, like that one.
And a full count results. Wilson has been a big lift for these Giants. First time up, he was a wild man. He walks the leadoff man in the second. He did that in the first. So Hubie Brooks goes to first base for the Dodgers. Wilson a record of 6-3. Doesn't strike out many, but he does walk probably a few too many. Strange thing about this batter, Rick Dempsey, for a right-handed batter, he has a strange hitting zone. Likes the pitch down and in.
That's not that strange. All hitters like it down and in, well, especially left-handers.
Right. And Wilson said, try this fastball. Strike 1.
I'll tell you, Jack, I think that's the most vulnerable spot to throw any hitter. The ball down and in. And if guys couldn't hit that pitch, they'd make golf tees higher. Think about it. That's where a golf tee is on the ground for right-handers and left-handers.
Leadoff man is on, and a throw over there by Wilson. His Dodgers don't run much. Brooks has stolen 1 base, and the team has stolen 91. But they run more than the Giants. And that ball might be a double play. 5-4-3. This is a good Giant infield.
We talked about some of the problems that Matt Williams has had. He made an error in last night's game. That's the 25th double play started by Matt Williams. That leads the National League, and he gave Lenny Harris or Robbie Thompson a good throw to handle at second, and Thompson completes it.
So there are 2 out for Lenny Harris, who's up there now. Harris has been a pleasant surprise for the Dodgers with his hitting at .298. And he doesn't try to hit the ball out of the park. He just makes good contact. He'll go the other way. And that's why the Giant outfield has him stationed as they do. With 2 out, a fly ball into left, and Kevin Mitchell might not catch up with it, but he did. And the inning is over. That was a good play by Kevin Mitchell. A walk, a double play, nobody left, an inning and a half, 1-0 Giants. Giants lead at 1-0, and Matt Williams, with 20 home runs under his belt, leads it off for San Francisco against Mike Morgan. We saw a good pitcher here last night, Ramon Martinez, and he defeated the Giants 11-2.
Martinez now 14-4 on the year, and certainly a candidate for the Cy Young Award.
First full year in the big leagues. Williams, a good fastball hitter, hits it foul.
Matt Williams leading the National League in RBIs, and if he continues, he would be for the 3rd year, the 3rd different player to do that for the San Francisco Giants. That's been done only one other time by Bob Musil of the Yankees in 25, 1926 Babe Ruth, and 1927 Lou Gehrig. Pretty good company for the Giants there.
You mentioned Babe Ruth. This fella does an imitation of Babe Ruth, and if we have a moment here, we'll give you a laugh.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Meanwhile, the count is 0-2 to Matt Williams, with Carter and Thompson to follow. Mike Scioscia told us this pitcher will not walk many. He'll stay ahead on the count. Dempsey's doing the catching today. 1-2. Center, Brooks will catch. It's only 1 out. He'll be 1 out. You folks want to laugh? Here's Matt Williams doing an imitation of Babe Ruth hitting a home run and rounding the bases. There it goes. It's out of here. And the Babe rounds second base. Matt Williams rounds second base. And he says phooey to the opposition. And another home run for the Sultan of Swat. He just flied out to start the second, and the batter is Gary Carter. You can tell his knee is feeling well, Tim. Shortstop Alfredo Griffin gets it. Played first base last night. Here he is, Carter, right back to work today.
Gary Carter entering the game batting .293, and Roger Craig told me before the game that he thinks Carter can play another 2 years. That Craig had some doubts about Gary when he showed up for spring training. His bat was a little slow. His knee gave him some problems, but he could see him gaining a little momentum, a little more momentum. He won a ball game the other night at Dodger Stadium with a home run off Jay Howell. That was Wednesday night. But he has really bounced back in fine fashion, Gary Carter.
We were here for a game against the Cubs, and Carter went 5 for 5 in that one. Here's a strike to Robbie Thompson, the second baseman of the Giants. Frequently, and he's hitting .245, he'll go for the home run in a spot like this with 2 out and the base is empty. And the count strike 2. We should have a scoreless game, but Hubie Brooks blundered in the outfield, thinking there were 3 out, put his head down, held the ball, and the runner scored from second on a fly ball. And that's the Giant run. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Thompson. Happy to see that Thompson getting along well. He's had a bad back off and on over the years. And the foul keeps him up there.
Nolan Ryan becoming the 20th pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball to win 300 games. He did it Tuesday night at Milwaukee.
Those Milwaukee fans were very nice to him. They appreciated the moment. 1-2 the count. You're out, and after 2 innings, the Giants lead the Dodgers 1-0. We're looking at the Dodger bench, and Ramon Martinez there in the middle. He didn't pitch his best game last night, but he was a winner. He's only 22 years old, Tim. What a future.
Leads the major leagues in strikeouts with 164. He and Doug Drabek and Frank Viola all have 14 wins. Viola leading the National League in earned run average. What a fine young pitcher Martinez is.
He broke in last year 6-4, but now he's piling up the wins. This is Griffin. He likes to bunt. He's leading off in the 3rd. Ball 2. Looking at the bench again, there is Fernando Valenzuela.
By the way, I said Viola had 14 wins. He won his 15th the other night at Montreal the other afternoon.
Wilson pumps the strike into Griffin. Big Griffin and the pitcher Morgan. Then Stan Javier. And another strike. Both of these pitchers, Morgan and Wilson, work at a brisk pace. We're in the 3rd, and the Giants lead 1-0. And the Dodgers seek their first hit. Hitting room up the middle. And a bouncer to Uribe. 1 out. Well, tomorrow the big day in Cooperstown for some friends of ours.
Joe Morgan and Jim Palmer, the 20th and 21st players, voted into the Hall of Fame on the first round. 206 Hall of Fame members, and I'm happy to say I'm sitting next to one. Jack Buck.
And Byron Saam, the longtime Philadelphia broadcaster, goes into the broadcaster's wing tomorrow. Here the fly ball into right center, chased by Leach. Off the bat of the pitcher Morgan, 2 out. And the other inductee tomorrow will be Jerome Holtzman, the baseball writer from Chicago. So they'll enjoy their day in the sun. Saw Warren Spahn the other night. He was heading up to Cooperstown, and Red Shanice went up there, and all of the alums come back. It's a wonderful time.
What a thrill it must be. I think even though the members of the Hall of Fame are the alums, I think anybody who's ever been around Major League Baseball as a broadcaster or player, really the alumni of the Hall of Fame.
Javier tries for the hit, but Uribe throws him out. Some play. Still no hits for the Dodgers after 2 1/2. It's 1-0 Giants. We'll return to Candlestick Park after this word from your local station.
Terrific play to end the top of the 3rd inning by Uribe, and one of the guys in the truck said it, Uribe from Uribe, and here it is. Watch the throw, the off-balance throw, and it's perfect. Nice play by Jose Uribe.
His name used to be Jose Gonzalez. He's a switch hitter. Bats left, takes ball 1 from Mike Morgan.
The interesting thing is that the Dodgers have an outfielder named Jose Gonzalez.
Maybe he'll change his name. Uribe takes a pitch on the corner, 1-1. Jose's wife died a few years ago. He had that hurdle to get over. He's the father of 3 children. Took a little time off from the game, but has come back strongly. Leading it off here in the bottom of the 3rd, and he hits one to Griffin. 1 out, and Greg Gumbel is standing by in New York for an update here on CBS.
Well, Jack, Roger Clemens stands poised to win his 15th of the year at Boston. Dwight Evans with the base hit in the left center field brings Wade Boggs around and gives Clemens and the Red Sox a 3-1 lead. They are playing the top of the 9th at Fenway. Jack?
And the Red Sox, of course, without Jeff Reardon with a back problem and an operation and out for the season. Interesting to see who Joe Morgan uses out of the bullpen. Second baseman Lenny Harris. Davis throws Wilson out for the second out. The day started in the American League East with Boston on top.
Toronto in second place. Baltimore back in the hunt. 4.5 back. And Roger Clemens going for victory number 15. Leads the majors in earned run average with a 2.20 earned run average.
I bet you Nickel he finishes the game today. He's not going to turn it over to anybody else if he can help it. There are 2 quick outs here in the third inning. 1-0, the Giants lead. And Brett Butler, who singled, stole a base, did some good base running, is at the plate.
There's a disc jockey, Jack, in New York, who's a big Red Sox fan and says that the way for the Red Sox to win it, Clemens and then 4 days of inclemency.
Brett Butler with a good batting eye takes ball 2. We still guard against the bunt. And by the way, the ball will not roll foul here. I mean, it stays on that field. Well, the infielders have to rush the play and make sure they put the ball in play and not wait for it to go foul.
This is the only major league park that went from grass to artificial surface back to grass.
Butler has 14 bunt singles. Now the count goes to 3-1. Kirk Gibson is taking in some sunshine today, not in the starting lineup. He is not happy with the Dodgers, period. He doesn't want to play there anymore after this year. There's the bunt try by Butler, even on 3-1.
Yeah, I think that's a bad choice on Butler's part. 3-1, you know you're going to get a pitch to hit. I mean, this is when you get a pitcher in a situation where you know you're going to get a fastball, and Butler elects to bunt it. I think that's a bad play on Brett's part. 2 strikes, fine, but a 3-1, 2-0 pitch, I don't think those are bunting counts, even when you're bunting for a base hit.
3-2 the count. Let's see what comes of it. With 2 out and the base is empty. And a fly ball is going to drop. So he'll get a double instead of a single. He's 2 for 2. That's the second Giant hit, and Butler did it. He has both of them.
After attempting to bunt that 3-1 pitch, he just lofts this one right down the line. And by the time Daniels catches up with it, Brett Butler has a double, his 13th of the year.
Looked like 15 love the way he served that one out there, isn't it? And he's in scoring position for Rick Leach. Leach has only driven in 16 runs. That's a good batting mark. 305 at the moment. Third base coach Bill Fahey did a good job of waving Butler home on that sacrifice fly earlier. He took the bandage off his face. He was bitten by a dog about a week ago and bitten in the cheek and on the lip. Scared the heck out of him. He had a lot of stitches, about 15 stitches taken in his face. Runner at second, 2 out. 1-0 Giants, third inning. Up the middle. Morgan will get it. Oh, he is out. As Murray made an excellent play at first on the wide throw. We played 3 innings. 1-0 San Francisco.
This ball hit sharply back through the middle. Morgan can't get out of the way of it. He recovers, however, very nicely, but his throw pulls Murray off the bag, and Murray makes a nice play on the throw that's on the inside part of the bag. Good play by Eddie Murray. He got his feet tangled up just a little bit.
And Lasorda likes that, but doesn't like the scoreboard. It's 1-0 Giants into the 4th. And Mike Sharperson leads it off. This fellow used to play for Toronto. And he grounds one to Uribe. Uribe hardly looks at the ball when it goes into the glove. He's looking over at first base when he fields it. That's 6 in a row set down by the Giant left-hander. Cal Daniels comes up.
No-hitter through 3 1/3. As a matter of fact, Trevor Wilson had a no-hitter against the Cardinals through 6 on July 14th. And back on June 13th, he had a no-hitter through 8 innings against the San Diego Padres.
Well, he can be a puzzle for these hitters. His record 6-3. Al Daniels looks at a strike. This batter reminds me of Al Oliver, who played in the National League for so long.
Got much more pop than Oliver, however. 15 home runs for Daniels. The way he hangs in against left-handed pitching, absolutely.
And the way he slashes, he just sees the ball and lets it rip. Doesn't care much about situations. He's a hitter. 1-1, 1 out, foul ball, 1-2. We have some boxing tomorrow on CBS at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Ray Mercer taking on Bert Cooper for the NABF Heavyweight Championship. Tomorrow at 2 on CBS. They'll slug it out. 2-2, and then they'll be followed by golf. The final round coverage of the Federal Express St. Jude Classic. It's down in your hometown, Tim.
Down in Memphis,
Memphis, Tennessee. Crowd thought the batter had been struck out. Instead, the count goes to 3-2. Tom Kite and John Cook are tied after 3 rounds. Here's a foul ball out of play by Daniels, keeping him up there. But you notice these fielders don't give up on the ball, because sometimes the wind will bring him back and they'll be embarrassed.
And in this ballpark, you got a lot of room to run. Matter of fact, in both Bay Area parks, there's a lot of room in foul territory. The Oakland Coliseum housing the Oakland Athletics, and here in Candlestick, you see all the room in foul territory.
3-2 pitch, and a good sinker gives Trevor Wilson his 7th consecutive putout, his first strikeout.
After throwing the first 3-2 pitch, a fastball, he comes back with a breaking ball to get Daniels. Well, that was a nasty breaking ball right there, and you saw how Trevor Wilson holds that pitch when we talked to him before the ball game.
And it was on a 3-2 count. So he gets his 2nd out of the inning and pitches to Eddie Murray, who lined one back to the mound his first time. And a foul. I guess what we were trying to get across earlier when Eddie Murray was batting in about his total home runs is that he's on a Hall of Fame pace. I wonder if many people think in those terms with regard to Eddie Murray.
293 lifetime average. We mentioned his 369 home runs, and look at all the RBIs.
Switch hitter in addition, batting with 2 out. High in the air, and it slices a little bit toward Butler, but Mitchell wants it, stays with it, makes the catch. Still no hits for the Dodgers, who trail 1-0.
Of my arm. I could possibly be a year too soon, and I could possibly not be. I don't regret 1 minute of the last 12 years, but I think I would regret 1 year that was too many.
That was Sandy Koufax back in 1966, the Hall of Famer. A moment for you Dodger fans to remember. Here's Will Clark leading it off against Mike Morgan. Koufax retired at a young age, Tim. And Clark hits one to the second baseman. Ronnie Harris makes the play.
Sandy only 30 years old when he retired, the youngest inductee ever into the Hall of Fame. He was only 35 years old. The Cy Young Award winner in 1963, 65, and 66, and that was when they gave only 1 award.
For both leagues.
For both leagues. The best pitcher in baseball. The 2 awards, 1 for the National, 1 for the American League, started in 1967.
Kevin Mitchell flying to center his first time. And a strike to him. This Mitchell's some athlete. I remember when the Mets had him playing shortstop. He has a bad wrist. He says it's still bothering him, but he could swing that stick. 1 ball, 1 strike.
His right wrist has been bothering him. He had a shot of cortisone last week, and since that shot, it's supposed to heal the wound. Well, since that shot, it's just hurt him more. Evidently, they didn't hit the right spot.
He held up 2 balls and a strike. He says because of that injury, he has to get on top of the ball. They play him to pull. The wind is holding things up that are hit into left field, so the outfielders are rather shallow. But Morgan won't let him hit the ball. 3-1, 1 out. Now Mitchell says, come to me, baby. 3-1 the count. Throw me that fastball. Well, let me swing it and hit it back to you. That's the second out, and we go to Greg Gumbel in New York for an update.
Well, Jack, at St. Louis, a couple of hot-hitting Mets have combined for a run. Greg Jeffries with the base hit up the middle to get Dave Magadan home, who had doubled. Dwight Gooden and the Mets have the early lead. They're in the bottom of the third, and the Mets lead St. Louis 1-0. Jack?
That's one of the big differences with the Mets this year, with Magadan and Jeffries both perking along in front of Strawberry and McReynolds. And, of course, Mets are playing against the Cardinals, managed by Joe Torre.
Ex-Met manager.
Here is Babe Ruth. Matt Williams flying to right his first time. Has 20 home runs. And strike one as Morgan gets ahead on the count.
Babe Ruth, a.k.a. Matt Williams.
Red Sox beat the Tigers. At the moment, they're 2 ahead of Toronto. Look at that one go. Looks like 2-0, doesn't it? Airborne, Babe.
Is a real hanger to Matt Williams. A breaking ball, and watch how it hangs over the inside part of the plate. Look where Dempsey is sitting, and watch where the pitch is.
You watch that glove go inside and the ball go over the fence. Did I say the wind was holding things up out there? Gary Carter gets one up, but the left fielder Daniels will handle it. And the inning is over. That was the 11th home run given up by Morgan, and now after 4, the Giants lead 2-0.
CBS Sports presents Major League Baseball. Today's game is brought to you by Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. Power Stick Antiperspirant, 24-hour protection in 1 stroke. And by Shell Oil Company. Stop by your nearest Shell station today.
Matt Williams triggers his swing with his whole body. Watch how the body goes back, the foot comes up, and the hands and bat do the rest. He didn't really think this ball was gone until he hit first base. That run went into a trot.
And he lets up right here. That must be a nice feeling. Cal Daniels gets the nasty feeling. 21st home run of the year for Matt Williams. So the Giants have made 2 runs on 3 hits. And their pitcher, Trevor Wilson, has not allowed a hit in the first 4 innings. And he brings it into Hubie Brooks. Brooks' mental lapse cost the Dodgers a run in the first. Ball 1 to him. Foul ball. 1-1. Brooks caught a ball in the first inning for the second out, thought it was the third out, put his head down, held the ball, and Butler scored from second base after the catch with the first run of this game. Trevor Wilson has retired 8 in a row. 2 walks, 1 strikeout. 2-1.
You know, it was particularly upset when Brooks thought it was 2 out. The Cincinnati clubhouse. And I'll guarantee you they're watching the game supposed to play tonight against San Diego. The Reds have dropped 2 in a row to the Padres in 10 of their last 12.
Well, twice this pitcher has walked the leadoff man in the first and in the second. 3-1 to Brooks. Fly ball for Butler to chase. The wind carries it. It is gone for a home run. The wind just blew it away, and it's a 2-1 game. That's the first Dodger hit. 13th home run for Hubie Brooks. It's a crazy ballpark.
Cheers for Hubie in the Cincinnati clubhouse now.
He let one in, he drove one in.
I'll tell you, I couldn't believe that ball got out, but it got up into that jet stream in right center field, and it just blew out of the ballpark. First hit of the ball game for the Dodgers, and it's a big one.
It's not unusual for Brooks to hit the ball to the opposite field. The ball one now to Rick Dempsey. There's Hubie. He's a pretty serious guy. You won't be joking with him about holding that ball out there. Dempsey looks at it low, ball 2. Dempsey hitting .237, 40 years old. Saw him a couple of years ago when he couldn't find a job, but he was settled in with the Dodgers. Long-time Baltimore catcher, 3-0 from Wilson, who might be upset by that home run.
Well, I tell you, when you look at Wilson, the first thing that impresses you or you notice about his style, he doesn't have a kick. He has a slide from the windup. See, there's a slide.
That was on 3-0. I'm really shocked that Dempsey was swinging.
Me too.
That's the first out.
Maybe Lasorda giving Dempsey a chance with the bottom part of the order coming up, a chance to get an extra base hit. Here's the pitch to Hubie Brooks once again. And watch Butler, the reaction of Brett Butler, the center fielder, as it blows out of the ballpark. Windy Candlestick.
That is the jet stream area out there. Willie Mays used to hit quite a few to the opposite field in that direction. Now the batter is Lenny Harris. Lined out to left his first time. Bats with 1 out. A run home. Giants leading 2-1 in the 5th. That's low. That's ball 2. That's why I was shocked that Dempsey was swinging on 3-0.
See, most pitchers generate power by lifting their right leg. You see the slide step of Trevor Wilson. Usually it's just a characteristic of his style as much as anything else, but usually you see that delivery home when a pitcher's working from the stretch. They slide step toward home to keep the runner at first, but Wilson does it when he winds up.
Just didn't pick that foot up.
No.
There's a strike. 2-1.
When you don't pick the foot up, it reminds me a little of Dave Dravecky, the way Dave used to throw. When you don't pick that foot up, you do sacrifice power, but you usually have better control.
Count has gone to 3-1 to the number 7 hitter, Lenny Harris. Watch it again. Really keeps it low and throws it low. Ball 4. That's the 3rd walk issued by the Giant hurler. Puts the tying run on.
Here's what a hitter sees when he faces Trevor Wilson. Unusually wild today. Jack talked about his control problems, but that is his 3rd walk, and we're only in the 5th inning.
Well, the first thing that pops into your mind with Griffin coming up, a runner at first, 1 out, and the pitcher coming up next is the old hit and run.
Good time to do it, because if you do it properly and Griffin gets a hit, then you have the runner on at 3rd base with less than 2 outs.
Lenny Harris has stolen 10 bases. He's the runner with 1 out. He used to belong to the Cincinnati club. Have to run against Wilson, as we've demonstrated. Pop fly should be handled for the 2nd out. Matt Williams. 2 gone. Griffin hitting .227 is 0 for 2 today, and that brings up Mike Morgan. American League East. Boston adds to their lead with a win today.
And you see the New York Yankees last in the American League East, but what about Kevin Moss, their young first baseman? He has gotten 10 home runs in his first 77 at-bats. That's the quickest than any major leaguer in history.
Leach takes care of the ball off the bat of Wilson. 1 run, 1 hit. The home run by Hubie Brooks. 1 walk, 1 left. The Dodgers have left 2 into the bottom of the 5th. 2-1 San Francisco. Tim McCarver mentioned that Kevin Moss of the Yankees has hit 10 home runs quickly, more quickly than anybody in the history of baseball. 77 at-bats. And then George Scott, Dave Hostetler, Ron Swoboda, Bob Speak, Sam Horn, and Wally Berger. And we'll get a look at Kevin Moss next weekend. Major League Baseball next Saturday on CBS. Some of you will see the Yankees against the Oakland A's from the Coliseum. Others will see the Rangers taking on the White Sox at Comiskey Park. Next Saturday at 3 Eastern here on CBS. Robbie Thompson hits one high in the air, and the center fielder Javier tracks it down for the out. I'll talk a little bit about it. Javier, he's so happy playing here with the Dodgers. He was in there and hitting well, and then Gibson got upset about not playing. He kind of bumped Javier out of the lineup. But Tim, even though he left that championship team Oakland, he wasn't playing very much there. He'd rather play most of the time with the Dodgers.
I think playing opportunity supersedes going to a winner or leaving a winner, and that's one of the big reasons Javier wants to play for the Dodgers. He's playing more.
So Thompson jumped on the first pitch, flying out. He's 0 for 2. Uribe grounded to short his first time, and he takes ball 1.
Especially with a young ball player. If you're as young as Javier, you want to go someplace where you can play. You don't really care about languishing on a ball club, even though they are as strong as the Oakland Athletics. If you're in the twilight of your career, however, you love it.
1 ball, 1 strike. Uribe hits one down the line. Left fielder Daniels has it for the second out. This is a fast game. There are 2 out, and the pitcher comes up. And of course, Javier is hitting very well. So that's another reason he wants to play. You take a guy who can't do anything, he says, bench me or trade me.
I'll tell you, I played with Stan's papa, Julian Javier, made the double play better than anybody. I know they're advocates of Bill Mazeroski, Maz with those quick hands. I don't think Julian Javier ever got taken out of a double play. The Phantom, boy, was he quick.
I asked him once, who was the last guy to nail you at second base? He said Duke Snider. Snider had been retired about 10 years. There are 2 out. Wilson is up. He has had 2 hits this year. Grounded out his first time in a 1-1 count. Mike Morgan pitching. We're in the 5th inning already. Giants leading 2-1. And that puts the batter in the hole 1-2. There's Roger Craig trying to bounce back from last night's defeat, starting the day 4.5 behind Cincinnati. Of course, the Dodgers are eyeballing the Giants, the team ahead of them in the standings. The Dodgers started the afternoon 3.5 behind the Giants and 8 behind the Reds. Outside to Wilson, 2-2. Just missed 3-2. He wouldn't walk the pitcher, would he? Morgan doesn't walk many. 3rd hit of the year for Wilson. And these Giants have the sort of batting order and lineup that can keep an inning going even on an innocent-looking hit such as that.
3-2 fastball, and Trevor Wilson rifles it to left center. See Eddie Murray holding Wilson on. He's the pitcher, and now he continues to hold him on. I mean, why would you hold the pitcher on?
Well, one reason, he might want to be playing in with Butler up there, Tim.
Then if you do that, then you should be off the bag about 2 or 3 feet and make the base runner go behind you. There's no reason to hold him on. If you're up for the bunt, then Eddie Murray really should be about 3 feet off of there. There's no reason to hold the pitcher on.
And we'll see how he plays it down there as Butler is up. He's had a single, a double, a stolen base, and a run scored, hitting .294. And ball 2 to him. This is what I mean about these Giants. You see a hit that appears to be an innocuous thing, and next thing you know, the bases are loaded, and you have Will Clark or Mitchell up there. 2-0 to Butler. Hit. He's 3 for 3. Wilson stops at second. Now if Leach can get on or drive in a run, they get Clark up there. Giants already on top 2-1.
When you fall behind major league hitters and they know what's coming, the chances go dramatically up that they're going to get the good part of the bat on the ball. And that's what Butler did with the count 2-0. Ropes one to right.
Dempsey went out to chat with his hurler. 2 on, 2 out. Leach is fly to center, hit back to the pitcher. Butler likes the pitching of Morgan. He's 15 out of 34 against Mike Morgan. He'll send him a Christmas present. 2 on, 2 out. Foul ball off the bat of Leach. Longtime Dodger Bill Russell, their shortstop, wearing a headset. Tim, what's he doing there?
I'll tell you, he was the dean of the Dodgers as a player. He's setting up the defense. You can see him moving the defensive players around. And the defensive player about 100 yards away is arguing with him.
2 on, 2 out here. I
Whoever that was.
I talked to Lasorda about Bill Russell probably becoming a manager. He said nowhere else. He said, I want him here. I want him taking over the Dodgers someday. 2 on, 2 out. 2-1 Giants. Inside in the pickoff play, but Dempsey couldn't get the throw away. There's Tom Lasorda. He's not thinking at all about cashing in his job.
Well, think about the Dodgers. They've had 2 managers. As you look at Russell again, they've had 2 managers in the last 37 years. Walter Alston for 23 years, and the Dodgers and Tommy Lasorda for 14.
Strike is called to the batter. 1-2 to Leach.
That's 2 managers in 37 years. The New York Yankees have had 18 managers in the last 16 years. It's a big difference, isn't it?
I'll say. Leach didn't like that last call. He's in the hole. 1-2. And he grounds it foul. Foul ball. Foul ball. Stays 1-2. First base umpire Dana DeMuth. Leach, a longtime quarterback at the University of Michigan. He's very good at doing a takeoff on George Scott with his General Patton speech. A good guy in the ball club. And he's getting a chance to play. Helped solve the right field problem for San Francisco. 2 on, 2 out, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-1 Giants, bottom of the 5th. 2-2.
Yeah, Candy Maldonado was the right fielder for the most part last year. He had a bad year. Signs with the Cleveland Indians this year as a free agent and is having a terrific year.
And Kevin Bass was here, but he's hurt. They thought they had taken care of the problem by getting Bass. 2 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2-1 the score. Bet the 2-horse. Second baseman, Lenny Harris. And that's 2 left for the Giants, who stranded 3, but they lead 2-1. We are in a fast-moving game. We head into the 6th inning. We're at Candlestick Park. There are the totals: 2-5-0 for the Giants and 1-1-0 for the Dodgers. Butler scored from second base on a sacrifice fly by Will Clark when the right fielder held the ball, thinking there were 3 out. And then Matt Williams hit his 21st home run of the year. And then Hubie Brooks got a measure of revenge with his home run. And it's 2-1 going into the 6th, and the top of the order is up. Stan Javier is walked, grounded out. He likes to bunt, shows the bunt, takes the strike from Trevor Wilson. Top of the order with Javier, Sharperson, and Daniels. Strike, and it's strike 2. Trevor Wilson has fanned only 1, and he has walked 3 and allowed only 1 hit to Hubie Brooks' homer. It's on the corner, second strikeout. Let me tell you about Rick Leach, their right fielder. He has that General Patton speech memorized. We asked him about it.
Our radio announcer at Michigan, Bob Ufer, who passed away not long after I left, kind of gave Bo the name George Bo Patton Schembechler because of his strict adherence to discipline. And so I've had a lot of fun with it with the guys. But I really can't go into that now because I wouldn't give a hoot in hell for a man that lost and laughed.
He's a fun guy and good for this Giant club. There's a strike into the batter, Mike Sharperson, who's 0 for 2. Leadoff man is gone here in the 6th inning. Wilson working rapidly, throws it up and in.
It's amazing how Rick Leach's General Patton segues into George Steinbrenner's general partnership of the Yankees. George relegated to more of a partner now and less of a general.
On the pregame show, we heard the commissioner, Fay Vincent, say that it'll work. He said he won't be in on it. Well, we'll see about that.
And the limited partnership, I don't think there's any question about the limited partnership passing it along. But what about the owners, the rest of the owners in the American League? A 3/4 majority is required. Over half in the National League. 7 of the 12 owners must vote in Hank Steinbrenner. So even if it's approved by the limited partners, it's not necessarily going to be approved by the other owners in baseball.
So that story continues. And most people suspect we haven't heard the last of that. Well, 2 strikeouts in this inning and 3 in the game for Trevor Wilson. And he hasn't thrown many pitches. He is on a complete game pace. And a foul off the bat of Cal Daniels, 0 for 2. But the folks in Cincinnati are rooting for their former player, Daniels, to wrap one here. That's strike 2, and Wilson in the spot to strike out the side. Nice variation on his pitches, Tim. Gary Carter doing the catching. Give him some credit.
Mixing up his fastball, the cutter, and the fastball inside.
There's another strikeout. He struck out the side. That's a 4th strikeout for Trevor Wilson. We'll return to Candlestick Park after this word from your local station. Gary Carter taking your job away?
Well, Gary's playing well. He's done a great job in the roles that he's been asked to play, and right now at first base.
He's laughing about Carter playing first base. He's not laughing now. He has a serious approach to hitting. There's Carter, and he's proven to be very valuable to these Giants. Ball 1 to Will Clark. Drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the first, and grounded out to second. Batting .290. Playing with a groin pull. And that's ball 2. So if he hits a ground ball, we won't see him run very hard.
His last home run, June 29th. So Clark, even though he has 14 home runs on the year, has had a dearth of home runs since June 29th.
On 2-0. Ball 3. You see a lot of people who hit home runs who will jump at bad pitches on 3-0 or 3-1. Don't want to walk, but that's not Clark. He has Mitchell hitting behind him. So he'll take the base on balls. Morgan hasn't walked anybody. Till now. Leadoff walk here in the 6th by Mike Morgan. And the batter is Kevin Mitchell. He's flied to center and hit back to the mound. And very consistent, hitting over 300 all year. In and out of the lineup lately with a bad wrist. Ball 1.
Show you how consistent that is. Only Barry Bonds and Ricky Henderson have hit 300 every month of the season. 48 home runs last year, the most valuable player in the National League, tied with Strawberry of the Mets for home runs this year.
Third baseman to second and safe at first. Sharperson had to cover some ground to his left, had a little difficulty getting the ball out of the glove, and then Clark got tangled up with Lenny Harris down there. I think it was a friendly encounter.
Yeah, because Clark couldn't go into him full strength with that pulled groin. But what you think about there with a bad leg is just getting down and getting out of the way of that throw from the second baseman.
Clark will slide over the base and try to take that pivot man out. He's an aggressive base runner.
Yeah, but the pulled groin, I think, prevented him from doing that on that play.
Here's Matt Williams, home run hitter in the 4th inning. Fly to right, hit the home run. 1 on, 1 out. Bottom of the 6th, 5 hits for the Giants, only 1 for the Dodgers. Home run by Hubie Brooks. And 2-1, San Francisco leads. Pitch downstairs, 2-0. And the Dodgers, anticipating the use perhaps of a pinch hitter, have Jim Gott, a right-hander, and Searage, the left-hander. There's Searage warming up. One on, one out. They won't do much running with Williams up there, but he does advance the runner. He's out at first, 2 gone. Well, I hope I'm around a television set next Friday night. That's when our pal Pat O'Brien will premiere with Overtime. He hosts the offbeat and irreverent late-night talk show. Guests from the sports and entertainment world, and John Madden, Isaiah Thomas, and Billy Crystal will be with him on the first show next Friday night at 11:30 Eastern on CBS.
I find that hard to believe that PB or POB can be irreverent.
Oh, yeah?
No.
There's no telling what he's going to say.
OT with OB, right?
He doesn't know what he's going to say until he hears it. Sometimes
he's a beauty, man.
He surprises himself. Here's Gary Carter with a runner Mitchell at second base and 2 out. Carter grounded to short, flying to left. And a strike from Morgan. I really don't know why Lasorda has those pitchers in the bullpen. Number 4 hitter is due up in the next inning. I thought Morgan was pitching quite well here. Runner at second. It's a leadoff walk in the inning. Now they're 2 out. Up and into Carter. 1-1.
First pitch was a slider away, and watch Dempsey move inside, and now the fastball inside. So you can bet Morgan and Dempsey are going back outside.
Yeah, there was no surprise to Dempsey that pitch was inside, was it?
Nope, going back inside. Nope, outside.
Clunker to the shortstop, and Griffin throws him out, and now the Giants have left 4, but they lead 2-1.
Toyota presents All-Around Champions. San Francisco's Matt Williams is on his way to becoming the game's premier power-hitting third baseman. And as part of his extensive fundraising efforts for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, Williams has donated hundreds of tickets to youngsters stricken with the disease. Toyota is proud to contribute $1,000 to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Toyota salutes All-Around Champions.
With a runner on second base, just in case Kevin Mitchell is flashing location to Gary Carter, watch what Dempsey does. He moves inside, and now he moves outside, just in case. And Carter grounds out to shortstop. You never know, but with 2 experienced guys like Mitchell and Carter, Mitchell could be flashing location to Gary.
We have a new right fielder for the Giants as we go into the 7th inning. That's Mike Kingery, with the Giants hanging on to a tight lead, 2-1. He replaces Rick Leach, who was 0 for 3. And first up for the Dodgers is Eddie Murray. He is 0 for 2. He lined back the pitcher, and he flied to left. Murray, a better left-handed hitter than he is a right-handed batter. And he has a hitting streak going of 14 in a row. But look at Brian Harper atop the heap. 24 games in a row for him.
That's a high for the major leagues, surpassing Lenny Dykstra, who hit in 23 straight earlier in the year.
And Willie McGee had his streak snapped at 22 the other night. All in on the batter, 1-1 to Murray.
Eddie way out in front of this circle change. You saw how Trevor throws that pitch.
That ball is fair, and Williams was in the right spot. 1 out. Playing him on the line to take the extra base hit away, and that's what he did.
Right-handed hitter who pulls the ball, and Trevor Wilson, who is not a hard thrower. And Matt Williams makes a nice play. A lot of times, if you don't want to be right on the line, you're about halfway. Instead of being way over in the hole as you normally would be, you're about halfway toward the line. And that's what Williams was on that play. Nice play.
And he demonstrated that good throwing arm of his. The batter is Hubie Brooks, who has the only Dodger hit. It was a wind-carried home run into right center. He walked previously. Trevor Wilson gets one in there. Strike 2. Cardinals on a home run by Guerrero lead the Mets in the 6th 2-1. And a final, the Red Sox over the Tigers 3-1. Clemens wins number 15, and the Red Sox lead Toronto by 2 full games. And now 5 strikeouts for Trevor Wilson, who's retired 7 in a row.
This is his 5th strikeout, and he has struck out 4 of the last 5 batters. Usually you may see a young pitcher start off striking out a lot of hitters and then taper off the second time through the lineup. It's just the opposite for Wilson so far. Brooks going after a bad breaking ball in the dirt.
Rick Dempsey is up with 2 out. I really get a kick out of watching Gary Carter on this comeback trail. Everybody thought he was finito. He had that bad knee. It was the right knee. People thought he couldn't play anymore. And what?
I was one of them. Did you really think, I mean, did you think that he'd come back this year?
I thought he was in the way with the New York Mets.
I did too, Jack. I thought he was finished. And it's to his everlasting credit that he's having a good year.
There's another fair ball and another long throw by Williams, and still only 1 hit for the Dodgers. 7th inning stretch time. San Francisco leads it 2-1.
There is nothing wrong with this picture. Gary Carter was 17 years in the major leagues, 21 years with Rick Dempsey, 38 years between those 2 catchers. Fine play by Matt Williams once again on the line, and the long throw. An easy inning for Trevor Wilson, who has retired 8 in a row.
Matt Williams has some throwing arm, and he hit a home run, which is the difference in this game as the Giants lead 2-1 into the bottom of the 7th inning. It will be the bottom 3 in the order for San Francisco, starting with Robbie Thompson. He struck out his first time, fly to center in the 5th. He'll do a lot to try to get on base. He'll take pitches, he'll bunt, he'll go the other way. And leading off, no telling what he'll do here. Took a strike. You knew he wouldn't be swinging at the first pitch because he is a situation hitter. 244 average. 1-1. We're to the point in the season now where these averages don't fluctuate very much. Get a hit, you go up a point. Make an out, you go down about a half a point.
Too many at bats.
Thompson fouls 1. He's in the hole 1-2. But all of this is, which has been going on in this fast-moving game, the Dodgers have only 1 hit, a wind-blown home run. Thompson leading off in the 7th, and a high fly ball for the right fielder Brooks. While we've been talking about catchers, Dempsey and Carter, let's talk about another, a Hall of Fame catcher, Roy Campanella, who's feeling well these days.
I'd like to thank each and every one that sent something. Maybe one day I'll get around with the office here and try to answer every one of them to send an autograph picture, but I'm very thankful.
Evidently, Roy heard from a lot of people, not only in Los Angeles, but a lot of people around the country when he was in the hospital. Here is a bouncing ball to Eddie Murray. Off the bat of Uribe, and there are 2 out. Roy Campanella was very ill in the hospital, and we're happy that he's perking again. He's a wonderful gentleman, former great catcher and hitter, person.
Were it not for that tragic accident that he had, he never really got a chance to play in Los Angeles. But look at the Dodgers, who have caught 1,000 or more games. Roseboro, Campanella, Steve Yeager, a real surprise there. And, of course, Mike Scioscia still active. The Giants, for instance, have never had a catcher to catch 1,000 games. Never in their 100-plus history.
There is Dempsey behind the dish, catching Mike Morgan. 2 out. The batter is Trevor Wilson. 1 ball to count. Ball 2. Wilson has a hit, one of the 5 San Francisco hits. And there's Mike Scioscia taking the day off to this point. Down go the Giants. 1, 2, 3. We played 7. The Giants lead it 2-1.
CBS Sports presents Major League Baseball. Today's game is brought to you by Toyota's quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. The companies of the Prudential. Come to the Prudential and build your future on the rock. And by Price Pfister, the fabulous faucet with the funny name.
We are quickly into the 8th inning here at Candlestick Park. The Dodgers have only 1 hit. The home run by Hubie Brooks. A home run by Matt Williams in the 4th, as the Giants leading 2-1 as the Giants try to come back and catch Cincinnati. You see the history of baseball personified by the comeback of the Braves in 1914. They were 15 games back early in July and came back to win it. And then the Yankees came back from 14 out. And then the Giants. And then the Mets. And now look at these standings for the Giants, who at one time were 14.5 out. They picked up 10 games on the Reds, and the Dodgers still in the picture. We're into the 8th inning. Trevor Wilson has 2 complete games this year.
When the Dodgers leave here, they go to Cincinnati for 3 games, and then it'll be the Giants next weekend in Cincinnati for 4. So the Giants sweeping the Cincinnati Reds last weekend here at Candlestick, and the Reds will try to return the favor next weekend at Riverfront.
Well, Trevor Wilson has sprung a leak of some sort, and they call the manager out, Roger Craig, so they want the home plate umpire to go out and listen in to see if we're dealing with an injury of some sort here in the 8th inning.
Oh, boy, that's all Roger Craig needs now. The Giants have used 22 different pitchers this year. They've used 12 different starters. They used 15 different starters last year when they won the National League pennant. So all Roger Craig and the Giants need is another injury to a pitcher.
He's going to take a practice pitch or 2. Looked like he turned that ball over a little bit, threw a sort of a screwball. What do you think happened to him, Tim?
I think something happened to the lower part of the body. It looked like he may have pulled something. The pitch was a strike to Lenny Harris. It looked like his right foot. Maybe a lot of times when a pitcher lands on that right foot, it can be sprained. It appears to be all right. Minor, but Roger Craig out there just to check. They've had so many injuries. Sometimes a pitcher steps in a hole that a right-handed pitcher has dug. You see Mike Morgan, the right-hander, and Wilson appears to be all right, however.
Going right back to work, and the first batter up is Lenny Harris. The count goes to 1-1 to him. He has been given one of the 3 walks issued by this hurler, who's retired 8 in a row. 9 in a row if Thompson does his job. Ray Searage is warming up, and he'll be into the game in the bottom of the 8th. Griffin is the batter, and then Morgan is due, so they'll pinch hit.
Yeah, the reason Searage is warming up is because the top of the order, Brett Butler, Mike Kingery, and Will Clark will be the batters. The funny thing about that is you see Mickey Hatcher on deck. The funny thing about that is Brett Butler and Will Clark both have higher career averages against left-handed pitching.
So they're bringing in the left-hander. We'll see what comes of that. Griffin tried to bunt his way on, strike one. The Mets have caught the Cardinals 2-2 in the sixth. Mackey Sasser drives home a run. What a story that is for New York. Fly ball foul. Out of play. That's strike two. Roger Craig sweating out the complete game for Trevor Wilson, who is pitching with one out in the eighth, and he confirmed that Wilson twisted his ankle when he landed, making that pitch earlier to Lenny Harris. 0-2. Griffin hits one to center, and Butler has it for the out. He got a good jump. That's 10 in a row. And that is 10 in a row for Trevor Wilson. The wind caught that, but Butler stayed right with it.
That's because he started off in a shallow position, daring Griffin to hit the ball over his head. Brett Butler, having played here for 4 years, and certainly as a visitor with the Atlanta Braves when he was with Atlanta, certainly knows the wind patterns of this ballpark. Very important.
Mickey Hatcher, I was thinking of Mackey Sasser. Mickey Hatcher will pinch hit with 2 out here in the 8th inning. Still the Dodgers have only 1 hit. Wilson's retired 10 in a row. And the Giants lead 2-1 and a fly ball into short center field, and Butler is there for that one also. That's 11 in a row. Trevor Wilson is breezing and leading 2-1. The Giants batting in the 8th, and a new pitcher on the mound, Ray Searage, the left-hander, with a record of 1-0. Tonight on CBS, some good viewing. Paradise, Beauty and the Beast, and the continuing saga of Vietnam Tour of Duty this evening on CBS. Well, last week we had a 1-0 game here on our telecast with the Cardinals beating the Mets. Today it's a 2-1 game, and Ray Searage is the pitcher. He used to belong to the Cardinals, used to belong to the Mets, and what a career this fellow's had. He's been pitching since 1976. And a drag bunt by Butler. Searage, bare hands, made a good play, and there's 1 out, and Butler was 3 for 3. Retired for the first time. Here's Brett Butler scoring the first run of this game in the first inning when the right fielder held the ball. Hubie Brooks thought there were 3 out. There were only 2 out. And on the play at the plate, he rammed through Dempsey and got the run. Here's the second Giant run in the 4th inning on the home run by Matt Williams, his 21st. And the only hit for the Dodgers came in the 5th inning when Hubie Brooks launched one into the wind in right center. It blew out of the park, and we have a 2-1 game in favor of San Francisco in the bottom of the 8th with 1 out. Kingery bats for the first time. Kingery picked up as a minor league free agent, hitting .260 for San Francisco. Lefty against lefty in a foul ball.
Jim Gott in the bullpen for the Dodgers. There's Jim. Great story, out for a year, and then signed with the Dodgers on a rehab program. They took a chance on him. Boy, he was nasty. I mean, 3 years ago at the Pirates, 1988 as a matter of fact, he had 31 saves. A nasty breaking ball, but he's had to pay for it with shoulder problems.
Still trying to come back. The foul ball puts Kingery in the hole. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kingery went into right field to replace Leach for defensive purposes.
Trevor Wilson trying to stay warm. Windy Candlestick. Tell you, Jack, you know, some people might think that Matt Williams' home run was the difference in this game, but the real difference in this game is Hubie Brooks forgetting how many outs there were way back in the 1st inning.
A changeup appeared to get Kingery on a pop fly to Griffin for the 2nd out. At the conclusion of the game, Tim McCarver and I will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 in the player's behalf to the Special Olympics. Will Clark bats with the bases empty. He's 0 for 1 with a sacrifice fly and a walk. He's the one who hit the fly ball that Brooks caught when Brooks forgot how many were out. Ball 1. We might see some wild swings from him in this spot with 2 out and nobody on as he tries for the long ball. Wind whistling out toward right. That's ball 2, and I'm sure Sirridge would not rather pitch to Mitchell, who's on deck.
I don't think he'll be pitching to Mitchell because the Dodgers have a right-hander warming up right now. This is the bottom of the 8th inning. I think this is Sirridge's last hitter, regardless of what happens.
And that's in for a strike from Sirridge. This pitcher has pitched at Sarasota, Johnson City, St. Pete, Gastonia, Arkansas, Jackson, Tidewater, New York, Charleston, Vancouver, Milwaukee, White Sox, Hawaii, Albuquerque, and the Dodgers.
Sounds like a national tour.
He's got some bonus miles. There's one for the third baseman. Bad hop and a base hit for Clark. Almost hit him in the face after he took that bad hop.
Infielders are taught to keep their head down, and there's nothing, no way that you can keep your head down enough on this ball right here.
Looked like a nice normal hop, and up it came.
Nothing you can do. Sirridge is going to pitch to Kevin Mitchell with the right-hander warming up.
Mitchell is 0 for 3. We haven't seen anything of Tom Lasorda emerging from the dugout. That was a base hit, the 6th of the day for the Giants, who've out hit the Dodgers 6-1. Jim Gott's ready in the bullpen, but Sirridge stays in the game to Mitchell. And Mitchell swings at the first one before Lasorda changes his mind. There's Roger Craig, hoping to get 2 quick runs from Mitchell. How are you feeling, Tom? Okay? Two to 1 Giants. The Dodgers will have one more turn at him. Strike 1 to Kevin Mitchell. Off-speed pitch pulled foul.
I guess the key question right here is if you're not going to bring a right-hander in to face Kevin Mitchell, why do you have Gott warming up to begin with?
He prefers to go with Ray Sirridge. Gott's just standing and watching. He probably thought he was going to be in the game pitching to Mitchell. Well, there's no thrill to pitch to this guy no matter who you are. Clark a safe lead at first, 2 out, ball 1. Clark has that groin pull, so he's only standing about 3 or 4 steps off the base. Eddie Murray holding against him. The first baseman talking it over. 2 to 1. The Giants leading here in the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers won here last night. 1-2 to Mitchell. What was wrong with that pitch? 2-2.
Breaking ball from Sirridge. Looked like it was a little high. That ball's high. Pitchers aren't going to get those pitches anyway. I mean, even pitches around the waist now, umpires calling too high.
You're right about that. Anything above the belt buckle is not a strike. 2-2. 3-2. And there goes Clark trotting to second. I'm surprised now they don't put in a pinch runner for him. That's a wild pitch from Sirridge. Puts Clark at second with 2 out. Clark not running full speed. He might not be able to score on a base hit.
Well, I think defense takes precedence over offense when the home team's ahead in the late innings. The Dodgers only have 3 more outs. You see Matt Williams on deck. They're not going to give in to Mitchell, but they don't want to pitch to Williams. Choose your poison right here.
That's what's so tough about this San Francisco lineup and why they've been able to surge lately. 3-2 to Kevin Mitchell. Here's a big pitch. Bill Russell standing next to Tom Lasorda. if they could get a fastball. Or if it is, it'll be out of the strike zone. It's ball 4. First walk by Surge, and that brings the pitching coach out. Ron Peranowski will go out there and probably lift Surge in favor of Jim Gott. Well, a bad hop has put the Dodgers in a little bit of trouble here.
You know, if a catcher wants a breaking ball, he gives a low target. Watch the target that Dempsey is giving. You can tell it's going to be a fastball. He's sitting inside, but Surge misses with the fastball, and it's inside.
So there are 2 on, 2 out, and Matt Williams will be up.
This relief break is sponsored by Rolaids.
Each Saturday, we have baseball here for you on CBS, and we've got a good one going here today, 2-1. Giants leading, and Jim Gott will face Matt Williams, and it'll be determined whether the Giants are going to have a breather in the 9th. Now we have a pinch runner for Clark. Down at second base, Dave Anderson, the former Dodger, will do the running.
I'll tell you, this is an interesting move. Will Clark out of there, the better defensive player, but maybe Roger Craig is figuring that he's limited defensively too. We might as well take advantage and try to up the lead. And that's, I would imagine he's talking with Clark about that right now.
You tell a runner on the bases, take it easy if you don't feel well, but you can't do that. If the guy gets a hit, you instinctively run hard.
That's right.
Re-injure yourself. So it's Matt Williams, 2 on, 2 out against Jim Gott. Ball 1. Gott is 0-2, no saves. At second base, it is Dave Anderson. Having just drawn the walk, it's Kevin Mitchell at first. Williams is 1 for 3. A home run in the 4th inning, which is the difference in the game at this point, and a breaking ball makes it 1-1. Gott used to blister the ball when he was with the Pirates, when he finally learned how to throw strikes.
Tightly wrapped breaking ball. It's almost like a gyroscope spin. Very tightly wrapped. Very strong forearms, as you see the Cardinals doing the Mets in at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, 5-2 in the 6th inning.
Pirates like that news. Pirates trail the Mets by a game. 2 on, 2 out here. Strike 2 on the batter, 1-2. Hit that ball in a good spot in on him. A bad hop single, a wild pitch, a walk, 2 on, 2 out. Dodgers will have the top of the order up in the 9th inning. They're trailing now 2-1. And a fly ball into right center. The wind carries it a bit and fools Javier for a moment, but he makes the catch. Giants have left a half a dozen, and they lead by 1, 2-1 going into the 9th. Javier, Sharperson, and Daniels in the 9th inning for the Dodgers.
Dave Anderson stays in the game, and I haven't seen this in years. Dave Anderson is using a regular fielder's glove. He's only played 1 inning at first base in his career, so he opts for his regular fielder's glove to play first base. It's interesting, Roger Craig has seen Gary Carter use Steve Bedrosian's first baseman's mitt over the last 3 games when he was filling in for Will Clark. I hadn't seen that in years, Jack.
No.
Dave Anderson using a regular glove to play first base.
In the bullpen for the Giants, in case their starter falters, is Steve Bedrosian, and now he is joined by the left-hander, that's Mark Thurmond. And the pitcher trying for his 3rd complete game of the season is Trevor Wilson. And Stanley Javier will lead it off. Javier 0 for 2 with a walk. And ball 1. This pitcher has 5 strikeouts. He's walked 3 and allowed only 1 hit, the Hubie Brooks home run. There's a strike on the inside part, 1-1. Giants got a run in the 1st. And Hubie Brooks thought they were 3 out and held the ball. Butler scored from second base on a sacrifice fly by Clark. Then the home run by Matt Williams in the 4th, the home run by Hubie Brooks in the 5th, and here we are in the 9th, 2 balls and a strike to count to Javier. 2 hits in the last 15 innings for Trevor Wilson. Javier fouls it. Javier has hit 1 home run all year. Two and 2, and a foul to the screen. Tomorrow on CBS at 2 Eastern, live boxing. Ray Mercer against Bert Cooper for the NABF Heavyweight Championship, and then the Federal Express St. Jude Classic tomorrow right here on CBS Sports. Outside, good batting eye by Javier, 3 and 2.
Good eye. Watch Gary Carter sitting outside and try to yank it back over the plate.
Tom Hallion, the plate umpire, didn't give him the call. Leadoff hitter in the 9th. And another foul, and Javier is having a good at bat. Twice, this pitcher Wilson has walked the leadoff man in this game. Did that in the 1st and in the 2nd, but got away with it. Good battle here, leading off in the 9th. 2-1 Giants. And he got him on a fly ball to Kingery. He gets it. This will be 12 in a row. That's what it is, retired by the young left-hander. It still was a good at-bat by Javier, even though he made the out. National League West at the moment, these Giants trailing Cincinnati by 4.5, and the Dodgers only 8 out. Norm Charlton pitches against San Diego tonight for Cincinnati. Boy, the pressure mounting on the Reds. They're still in good shape, though. A lot of teams would like to be where they are. Sharperson takes a strike. He's 0 for 3. Catching. I bet you when this game is over, Wilson will tell you Carter really worked him well. That's on the corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
If you're going to get beat in the late innings, make it be on a pitch away. If you make a mistake away, it's a single. You make a mistake inside, could be a long ball to tie it. He's going to go away again.
It's 2 and 2. Third baseman Matt Williams has made a couple of plays right on the line, and that's where he's playing now to try to take the extra base hit away, so there's room through short. 2 and 2 as Sharperson bats. Got him on a low pitch. Carter scooped it and tagged in, and that's 13 in a row by Wilson. He has struck out 6.
He kept going away with the breaking ball, or with the fastball, and now the breaking ball gets Sharperson. And that was a sharply breaking ball down. A good play by Carter to come up with it.
And that's what he told us before the game about that curveball of his. If he hangs with it with that forefinger, it's a good, quick curveball. Here's Cal Daniels. He's a threat, even though he is a left-handed batter. He's hit 15 home runs. He's 0 for 3 today. Ball 1. Last time up there, Daniels took a fastball called third strike. That's not like him. Fly ball into right, and Kingery broke a little late, and the wind took it away from him, so the time runs out. Second Dodger hit. Wilson wants the ball right back and hits for the mound, and Roger Craig watching on.
Kingery with a late break, but he does a good job to smother the ball. Look at him put his left hand up there to smother the ball, keep it in front of him, thereby preventing Daniels from taking the extra base. So
now we're going to have a runner. And for the Dodgers, it is the outfielder, Gonzalez. Jose Gonzalez running for Daniels. And there's nobody better the Dodgers would rather have at the plate than Eddie Murray. He's 0 for 3. Gonzalez with a good lead. Just missed. Murray lined to the pitcher, fly to left, ground to the third. Anderson holding against Gonzalez. And Murray has hit 16 home runs this year, most of them from the left side. And Gonzalez had better be careful of that pickoff move. With 16 home runs for Eddie Murray, 13 have come batting left-handed. Craig with Bob Lillis alongside. Gonzalez has to cut that lead down. It's smack up to Murray. Some signs given. Flash to the catcher. Relay to the pitcher. 1 ball to count to Eddie Murray. There's a strike, and it's 1-1.
Again, the same as with Sharperson. Wilson staying away from Eddie Murray. I think he'll stay away. He may throw the breaking ball down. I don't think he's coming inside unless it's bad.
High and away. Outfielders straight away. Tying run at first, 2 out. The Dodgers have had only 2 hits, and they've been given 3 walks. There's the defensive alignment. What is Eddie Murray thinking? 2 balls and a strike. Tying run at first, 2 out, top of the 9th, 2 balls and a strike to count to Eddie Murray. 2-2. He's looking for a ball to yank.
I think Eddie was looking for it to yank, but Carter got the yank. Watch Carter. You see him jerk that ball back in the strike zone? That ball looked outside.
It's 2-2. Dodgers down to their last swing. Tying run at first, 2 out, 2-2 to the batter. In the 9th. All the fans stay on their feet. They wanted to end right here. 2-1 Giants. 4.5 behind the Reds. Foul ball. Stays 2-2. That ball was up a little bit. I don't think he wanted to put that pitch there, Tim.
Now he's trying to go away. Just sometimes you don't get the ball every place you want to all the time. If you did, I mean, make a lot of money.
Gonzalez, the runner at first, carrying the tying run. 2 out. Another foul. Stays 2-2. Dodgers haven't scored since the 5th when Hubie Brooks hit the home run. Look at Carter looking over to Roger Craig. Even those pickoff moves are dictated out of the dugout by Craig.
So far, Carter is set up outside for the fastball and in the middle of the plate for the breaking ball. Breaking ball.
And a half swing. He held up. It's 3-2. Dana DeMuth made the call.
Awfully close. Did Eddie Murray go around? Roger Craig thought so. But he didn't get the call.
Now the runner will go.
Judge for yourself. No, he didn't go.
Tying run at first, 2 out, 3-2 on the batter. 9th inning, and the runner Gonzalez goes with the pitch as Anderson plays behind him. There he goes. There he goes. And the Giants are only 4 out. The old 3-2 breaking pitch, Tim.
Ball out of the strike zone, similar to that 2-2 pitch that Wilson threw to Eddie Murray. Remember the 2-2 check swing? Well, Carter and Wilson were confident enough to come right back with that breaking ball, and here it is. Out of the strike zone down, another nice play by Carter, and a terrific game between an older catcher and a young pitcher.
Trevor Wilson is 7-3, and he pitches his third complete game. So Roger Craig likes that one, and his club is only 4 games behind Cincinnati. The Chevrolet player of the game is Trevor Wilson, his third complete game of the year and a 2-hitter. Trevor Wilson of the Giants, and Chevrolet will donate $1,000 in his behalf to the Special Olympics. When we come back, we hope to visit with Trevor Wilson. We're going to come back with Greg Gumbel, and Greg will have scores of other games. Giants won it here, 2-1.
And welcome back to our studios in New York, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. While we have the time, let's run down for you the Major League Baseball scores so far this afternoon, beginning at Fenway Park in Boston, where the Red Sox beat the Detroit Tigers by a score of 3-1. Sparky Anderson and his Tigers looking for the victory. It didn't happen today. Wade Boggs, the base hit up the middle into center field to get Jody Reed home, and a tie game at 1-1 in the 6th inning. Then the Red Sox went on top in the 7th inning. 1 run already home. Dwight Evans with a single passed short into center field. Boggs trots across. 3-1 Boston. And the rest was Roger Clemens. Cecil Fielder, tough day at the plate, struck out 4 times. This time with runners at second and third. Clemens struck out 8 all told. Won his 15th of the season. The final, Boston 3 and Detroit 1. Meanwhile, in St. Louis, the Mets and the Cardinals have moved to the 7th inning now, with the Cardinals leading by a score of 5-2. The scoring began in the 3rd inning of this game. Greg Jeffries, base hit into center field off of Kenny Hill. Dave Magadan, who led with a double, came around to score, and the Mets led 1-0. That lasted exactly 1 inning. Bottom of the 4th, Pedro Guerrero ties into a Dwight Gooden fastball, and he hits number 12 of the year with a teammate aboard, and the Cardinals led by a score of 2-1. But the Mets came back to tie it in the 6th inning. Darryl Strawberry on second with a double. Mackie Sasser up the middle into center field. Hill failing to make the leg save. Strawberry scores, and it's a 2-2 tie. But in the bottom of the 6th, Dwight Gooden shunned a double play ball, and it cost him. Bases loaded, Terry Pendleton doubles to the wall in center field, clearing the bases. 3 runners scored. St. Louis grabbed the 5-2 lead. It is now 5-3, with the Mets having scored a run on a sacrifice fly in the 7th inning. St. Louis leads it 5-3. And the game you just saw out at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, fine 2-hit effort by Trevor Wilson as he and the Giants beat the Los Angeles Dodgers by a score of 2-1. This all began very strangely with Hubie Brooks in the 1st inning thinking he had caught the 3rd out. It was only the 2nd. Brett Butler came all the way around from second to score, and it was 1-0 San Francisco. Then in the 4th inning, Matt Williams, see you later, number 21 of the year. That went off Mike Morgan to give the Giants the 2-0 lead. Trevor Wilson allowed just 2 hits on the afternoon, one of them right here to Hubie Brooks. Brooks is number 13 of the year in the 5th inning to cut the Giants' lead in half, but that's how it ended, 2-1, as the Giants move to 4 games now behind the Cincinnati Reds in the National League West. Meanwhile, off the field, the limited partners in the New York Yankee organization are set to vote Wednesday on George Steinbrenner's expected recommendation that his son Hank succeed him as general partner. Earlier today, I asked one of those partners, Michael Friedman, if Hank will get the nod.
Our understanding is that he already has received over 80% ratification, and Ed and I and the rest of the partners are working towards making that unanimous by Wednesday.
And what Hank Steinbrenner needs is a 2/3 vote of the partners on the Yankee board. We'll take a time out and come right back with more in just a moment. back in New York. Final score once again at Candlestick Park. It was 2-1, the Giants over the Los Angeles Dodgers. And right now, let's take you back out to Candlestick Park. Jack Buck and Tim McCarver standing by. Gentlemen.
Well, it's all over here at Candlestick Park, and the Giants pick up another half game in the standings. They were 14.5 out. They're 4 out. 2-6-0, 6 left. 1-2-0. 3 left for the Dodgers. Wilson, the winner, a complete game, 7-3. Mike Morgan, a wonderful game, but a loser, 9-10. And home runs by Hubie Brooks, number 13, and Matt Williams, number 21, made the difference. And a short while ago, after the game, we got together once more with the winning pitcher, Trevor Wilson. He's a happy guy. Trevor Wilson, congratulations on the win. This is as gratifying as any you've had up here.
Yeah, Jack, I finally got a win against the Dodgers, and you know, Eddie had me on the ropes right there, but he swung at a bad pitch, and you know, that's the story.
You came back with the 3-2 breaking ball. Did Carter call that pitch, or did you shake it off?
I shook it off. I didn't think he was gonna. I didn't think he was looking for it, and it ended up. I don't think he did. It was a bad pitch he swung at. So that would have been ball 4 right there, but you know, in a situation like that, I think he's just looking to put the bat on the ball.
What do you think if Brooks had come up? Do you think you'd have stayed in there?
I was praying that I wouldn't get to him. He's hit against me pretty well.
Trevor, do you feel comfortable shaking off Gary Carter? Does he make you feel comfortable doing that?
He makes me feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable doing it. About halfway through the game, I said, I'm just going to go with what he puts down. But I shook him off a couple times. I don't think he minds it too much.
Now you're in the middle of the pennant race, Trevor. It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's real fun. This is what, you know, it's all about. And last year I was involved in it a little bit, but, you know, I'm looking forward to really getting into September and, you know, getting into the playoffs.
Well, in the National League West right now, the San Francisco Giants 4 games behind the Cincinnati Reds, even though they remain, of course, 5 games behind Cincinnati in the loss column. And tonight at Riverfront, San Diego going against the Reds. The Giants are hot, and not so the Reds.
That pushes the Dodgers 8.5 out, and it's a tough pitcher for the Reds to beat tonight. And Ed Whitson, Norm Charlton, will work against him. 2-1 the final score here. The Giants won it. They're 4 games out, and coming up in a moment, Greg Gumbel.